Great, beautiful. Well, good morning, BNI Chapter 15. Falkowitz, the general insurance agent of the group. Insurance is a quite necessary product. It affects us in our everyday lifestyle. Those who are in business have to have certain business insurance to protect their asset and their ownership of their business. So, for instance, there would be general liability, property insurance, in fact, workman's comp, disability insurance, and depending on the kind of business they're in, would decide what kind of insurance we would give them. But basically, someone who's in the who owns a business definitely needs the liability insurance to protect them against any kind of lawsuit. And the property insurance is to help them for all their goods and services, their furniture, office equipment, whatever they have as protection there in case of a loss. On the personal side, again, is to protect people of their personal assets. Whether you own a home, condo, a co-op, even be a renter, there's property that's yours. And you want to secure, make sure, God forbid of a fire or loss, that property will be, the funds will be given back to you via the insurance carrier, via a claim. There are other private insurance products for those who have personal insurance, such as the umbrella liability, those who have high net worth, fine arts and jewelry. There are products that they could buy as well. Example that we went through is we had this law firm with over 100 attorneys, and we spent about 5 months reviewing their current policy to going to market with other carriers. We found out in their policy they were missing 2 key elements, very important to a law firm: a directives and officers coverage and fiduciary reliability. That we were able to include in our new policy. They were also short on their contents. They only had content value of $50,000, which should have been really $3 million. And their umbrella liability, they only had $5 million, and we were able to bring it up to $20 million on umbrella liability. The aggregate premium they were paying was over $800,000. With all our add-ons, we came in over $600,000 with a savings of $200,000 this law. So it became very strong, and it took a lot of work, but everybody won here. Another case in point, an example of insurance, is a restaurant owner 5 years ago opened up the restaurant, and every year since, he was audited based on his sales. So restaurants, their policy every year can go up based on the sales of the restaurant. In order to change that, we came in and based it on the square footage and property. So we segregated the property to square footage, able to take away that orderable part of the policy. So going forward, he did not have annual increases in the policy for the restaurant, and again, we're able to secure and keep the client happy, saving him tremendous dollars. When it comes to property management, and we know we have a few in BNI, we brought together about 40 units in Lower Manhattan, and these were all independently owned apartment buildings, usually about 4 or 5 walk-up apartments, and we were able to bring it into a master policy, saving the owners significant amount of money in their premiums, but more importantly, it gave the management area total control of when a mishap would occur, instead of waiting to find the owner in Florida, dig up the policy for that building in Lower Manhattan, and put in a claim because of the fire. This way, the property manager had total control, no time was lost, was able to reach out to the carriers and go ahead and take care of the loss. Should there be bad apple, we just remove the bad apple the following year, and everyone would be happy. The property manager with the building owners both have better relationships, and service is what it became besides saving in premium. Now, the condo co-ops, very basically, if it's a new building and if someone does have a carrier like Chubb, and Chubb happens to be one of the top carriers out there, but their reconstruction price per square foot for renovation of a condo is quite high, the highest on the street. Where there are other carriers that are more moderate and understand the New York market, such as Hartford, AIG, Travelers, these carriers per square foot rebuilt is much lower, something to consider to save the cost for the condo owner or co-op owner. And finally, we work as teamwork. We have over 25 years of experience with specialists in many different areas of the insurance world. And our concern is that our clients come first, making sure we do not compromise on their insurance coverage, but try to do the best we can to lower the insurance premium. And this is the onset of reducing costs by reducing deductibles, removing non-essential coverages for their policies, and remarketing every few years. I'm going to spend a little time now on the onset of Medicare, because about 5-6 years ago or more, working with law firms, and we know lawyers do not retire, many of my law firms came to me and said, what do we do? We're turning 65. How do we navigate with Medicare? So this little piece about the common questions to Medicare, just going to give you a little bit overview of how Medicare really works. I'd be more than happy to send you this piece. It's very educational and helpful. But very basically, I know in this group, none of you are turning 65 tomorrow, but you might have parents, relatives who do need some guidance. And Medicare, very interesting, stop letting people know that, oh, you're turning 65, you have to register. Now it's on your own. And if you do not be proactive, after 3 months of turning 65 and then go further into the year, there are penalties that are set for lifetime with both the B side of Medicare and the D, the prescription side of Medicare. So it is important to be very proactive. The problem with the Medicare puzzle is that people who are still 65 and still working and they have health insurance from their carrier, it depends, they could waive off of Medicare depending on what size company group they work for. So there's a federal guideline as long as that too. It's called large group, small group, but the federal government defines large group, and only on payroll, not who's on has health insurance, has 20 or more people on large group, so they can waive off of the Part B Medicare. A Part A side of Medicare is basically free. You work 40 quarters in your lifetime, you paid in while working. And the Part A side of Medicare is for the hospitalization and rehabilitation. The Part B side of Medicare is monthly billed by the government or can come out of your Social Security check, and that's the doctors, physical therapy, laboratory, x-ray, non-institutional care of medicine, and it's based on, the premiums based on annual household income. So there is a sliding scale there. It starts at $144 a month, and the people who, at the highest end of the bracket, combined income of over $750,000 a year, their maximum out-of-pocket cost for the Medicare Part B is $491. Medicare is a nationwide product and does not require any referrals. There's another part of the Medicare privatization side called Medicare Advantage plans. That's another discussion more than we have for right now. And the last piece of the puzzle and part of the A, B, C, and D's of Medicare is the prescription drug coverage. So anyone who takes standard Medicare would also purchase a prescription drug plan. They're offered by 40 independent carriers that are out there, and the cost could be as low as $15 a month and as high as $95, depending on what kind of maintenance medications you take and where it falls on their tier formulary list. Again, more information about Medicare, please reach out to me. Be more than helpful to answer your questions. And how much time left? Okay. And finally, to go into a little history. This picture, I'm not telling you when, but it was around graduation time of college. Black hair, not anymore today, and the serious face. Move over to the right a little. My 3 sons, we did look for Uncle Charlie, but I was lucky to have Ronnie. She's great, mother and wife. And we have the youngest, Jason, Gary, the middle one, and Scott, the oldest. And last year, our son Jason married his wife Ariel, and the whole family together, Scott and Lauren, and the new grandson Bradley, 6 months here, Andrew, 2 years old, myself, Ronnie, Ariel, Jason, Grandma Audrey, Ronnie's mom, and my son Gary, Lynn, Ethan, Landon, and the little girl Reese. Any questions, any suggestions? If you have, I'm sorry, any questions you might have, please email me, call me. I'm there to be of help. And as Stephen knows, the attorney, the visiting attorney, everybody in business must have the liability insurance, because there are lawsuits always to be found out there. Thank you.